Well, hello everyone, and welcome to your standard YouTube that decides to do F1 predictions before the season started, with a bit of a difference. So, what we're going to be doing, guys, is we're going to be doing the Drivers' Championship F1 predictions, going through there. A couple of sort of crazy predictions, let's say, um, and then we'll add in the twist at the end. So should we start off by doing the Drivers' Championship predictions, yeah? Should we start? Let's do it. So we've got all 20 drivers. We have got the predictions ahead in terms of this, and we'll see where we go with this. All right. So let's start from the bottom. Let's work up and go from there. So who do I think is going to be in 20th position in the championship? Well, you probably got a bit of an indication of this from when I did the F1 Rookies video from last week. But sadly, I think the guy that's going to miss out is Jack Doohan. I feel like Jack Doohan is going to be last in the championship. I feel. I feel like. Hold on. I feel like he's just going to struggle. I get the feeling that Alpine will also have a struggle to the year, and I just feel like he is going to be sort of like um, the scapegoat for it, and I do feel like 20th place will be Jack Doohan. So how about 19th? Well, 19th, I feel for a similar reason of this is I'm going to be putting in Isaac Hadjar. Isaac Hadjar, I'm afraid, will be in 19th position. Similar sort of reason. I feel like Visa Cash App RB are going to struggle at the start of the year. I feel like Isaac's going to struggle as a result of it, and so yeah, that's similar sort of thing. I feel like he's going to survive, but otherwise, yeah. In 18th, I'm going to go somebody that I just do not rate. I really don't. In 18th will be Lance Stroll. No doubt about it. I just Aston Martin are struggling, and I feel like they're going to continue to struggle. And I feel like Lance Stroll's going to be the sufferer as a result. 17th place, it's getting a little bit tricky now. 17th place for me, I feel like it's going to be Gabriel Bortoleto, right? Reason being, I don't think Kick Sauber are going to be that bad. They were pretty decent in the last couple of races. But yeah, Gabriel Bortoleto, I feel like is literally just going to lose out the rivalry to Nico Hulkenberg. I think it's going to be really close between the two of them, but just Kick Sauber are going to struggle, basically. Beating Nico Hulkenberg for me will be Ollie Behrman, but losing out obviously in the driver rivalry and everything like that. And yeah, that is almost like sort of going to be the bottom six of that. Getting into 14th, this is where it gets more tricky because I actually do rate a lot of the drivers, but I do think Kimi Antonelli is going to have a struggle season. I do think he's going to perform well in races, but I think he's going to crash in a lot of races too, or at least retire in races. I feel like that's going to impact it. It's going to be one of those really weird ones. If you take half his results, he's going to be in the top 5, and you take the other half, and he's going to be last, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put him in 14th for that reason. Beating Kimi Antonelli, I feel it's going to be Yuki Tsunoda. He's always performed well. I actually feel like it's underrated him a little bit, but yeah, it's one of those situations in regards to that. In 12th place, I think it's going to be Liam Lawson. I really do. I don't know why. I just get the feeling that Red Bull are going to continue to struggle. And I feel like they could be the 5th, maybe even 6th best team, and Liam Lawson's going to struggle as a result of that. I just get that feeling. I don't want it to happen. and you'll probably see that why in terms of my crazy predictions. But we will go from there as a result. Now, in 11th place will be Alex Albon. This is going to be the season that will make or break Alex Albon's career. And if he gets close to Carlos Sainz, I think he will perform. It'll be the making of him. But I just get the feeling Williams are good. Williams are getting better, but not quite better enough. They're progressing. They're progressing in terms of that. Beating him will be Pierre Gasly. We'll be having a little bit of a Red Bull group. Look, you got Gasly, Albon, Lawson, and Tsunoda all together. I feel like Gasly will do well. He will break into the top 10, and that seems a bit sad on Jack Doohan's part. But Gasly does perform for the car. Plus, I get the feeling that Alpine, if Jack is really struggling, they might focus on Gasly and do a sort of Verstappen thing. I don't want that to happen, but again, that's going to be the case. In 9th place, I'm putting Esti Bestie. I feel like Haas have been brilliant. Were brilliant last year, and I think Esteban Ocon's going to take advantage of it. I see a couple of top 5s for him and things like that. I do think that's going to work, but beating him will be Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso feels low, but I feel like Fernando Alonso once again is going to, the striking performance between the two, and that is it. How about 7th place? How about 7th place? Because this is now where things start hotting up. 7th place for me is going to be Oscar Piastri. For me, Oscar did brilliant last year, and the only reason why I'm putting him 7th is because there's 6 incredible drivers. It's really hard to put them below him. For me, any of the top 7 could win the world championship. That's the way that I view this, and I feel like Oscar, his lack of experience is going to show through. Basically, in 6th place, just to make Kimi Antonelli not feel so bad, I'll be putting George Russell. The reason why I've got Mercedes drivers so low is because, look, we know what Mercedes are like. We know what Mercedes are like when there ends up being prospective rule changes that they're not competing as much, is that they will focus everything on 2026. I feel like George and Kimi are going to struggle as a result. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if George even ended up just about in the top 10 as a result. So George and Kimi missing out, yes, down to Kimi's lack of experience, but I think it's also down to the fact that I feel like Mercedes won't have put all their efforts in for this season. They've put a lot of effort into next season because we know what they're like, especially as it's going to be very engine driven as well. So how about 5th? How about 5th? 5th place for me, Max Verstappen. Max did incredibly well in the first half of the season. That was the reason why he was world champion. But I feel like this is going to be him found out, basically. Or, sorry, the team found out, not him. Max Verstappen is going to do wonders to get 5th place. I genuinely think that. And so this is not a dig at Verstappen. This is a dig at Red Bull. I think Red Bull are going to start to struggle. Look, let's face it. They've lost incredible members of their team. We covered it in a video, I think it was last year. They've lost Adrian Newey. They've lost Jonathan Wheatley, right? They've, it's a decimated team. This is going to be that time where they're going to be performing in similar levels to the start of Red Bull. I don't think it'll be for long, but I think at the moment Red Bull are inexperienced, and it'll take about 2 or 3 years for them to get back to winning ways. But Max Verstappen will do all he can, and that's why I've got him in 5th. So what does that mean? We've got 4 drivers left. And I've just realised there's one driver that I haven't discussed yet that's not in the top 3 teams. I'm sticking with this just in case it's like wildness. I'm putting Carlos Sainz in 4th place in the championship. Now, it might seem a bit high, and it is, to be quite honest, but I'm sticking with it just in case. It will be linked to a crazy prediction that I've got as well, but yeah, that's the way that I'm viewing this. So right now, we've got 3 drivers left. We've got Lando Norris, we've got Charles Leclerc, we've got Lewis Hamilton. We've got a 2 in 3 chance of having a brand new champion. So will we? Guys, here's going to be our top 3. I'm going to do it very quickly. 3rd place will be Charles Leclerc. And Lando Norris will be in 1st. I feel like this is going to be a very close fought championship. Really close. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with a 3-4 driver fight for the title, right? I think Lewis is just going to miss out. I don't know why. I would love to say he's going to win the championship, but something in my head is going, hold on a second. That's the way I view it. In fact, you know what? No, I've changed my mind. My heart is going to rule. Lewis Hamilton is going to win his 8th World Championship. I'm doing it. All in there. All in. I'm going to be doing Lewis Hamilton winning the championship. Like I said, I think so what I think is Ferrari and McLaren are going to slug it out. Max Verstappen's going to play his part, certainly. And I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a 3-4 driver fight for the title. And we always seem to get the most exciting racing just before the rules start to change. So this could be a really interesting time. So those are my predictions. And if you've got any opinions on those predictions, you're more than welcome to share it. Now, how about my crazy predictions? I've got 2 crazy predictions. Here's my first. And my first one is more out of hope for next year. So if you remember, we did a clip, I think it was last year, weren't it, on Williams, where I said that if Williams do not get, I think it's 5 podiums in next year, by the end of next year, that I'll be dressing up as a Duracell bunny. So this first prediction is merely out of hope, giving me a chance. I'm going to be saying that Williams get a podium this year. That's going to be my first crazy prediction. My second crazy prediction is the fact that I think in one of the first 5 races, one of the first 3 races, Liam Lawson will outperform Max Verstappen for one of the first 3 races. Those are my crazy predictions. I just get the feeling that Liam Lawson is going to give like a sort of a false dawn, almost like a Nick de Vries moment. That is my feeling of it. But guys, that's not it for our predictions, because there is someone or something I'm competing against when it comes to the predictions, as well as every other YouTube that's on the planet, and probably all of the people in chat. Because you see, I did a dice prediction. I was doing dice predictions of where every driver was going to finish. As you can see, an example, George Russell somehow was 16th. And right now, I'm going to show you guys what my dice thought was going to be predictions. Here we go. Now, let's start off with the things that would sort of make sense before we start looking at the screamers. What makes sense to me? Carlos Sainz finishing in the top 10. I can see that. Nico Hulkenberg winning the teammate rivalry. I can see that happening. Lando Norris winning his. I can see that happening. But as you can see from the dice, I can see a whole lot not happening. I'm just going to leave that up there. And whilst I explain how the points are probably going to go as a result of this. So at the end of the season, we're going to be doing a plus to minus scale here. So if I get it bang on, I get 5 points. If I'm 1 off, 4 points. 2 off, 3 points. 3 off, 2 points. 4 off, 1 point. 5 off, 0 points. And then negative numbers for anything above 5. So, 6 would be minus 1 point, 7 would be minus 2. And we're going to see how these get on. We're going to let this cook. I'm going to let you guys laugh at these predictions. Now, given the DICE predictions, I'd better do better than the DICE because otherwise, that is a scary championship. Hilarious championship. Unless you're a Ferrari fan, because, oh my God. But that is going to be how the championship goes, right? Ultimately, no matter which prediction is going to be right, there's one prediction that I don't feel is that big of a risk of a prediction. This season is going to be wild. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are looking forward to it too. But until next month, we don't have to worry about it too much. We will probably do a video on the F1 liveries that got revealed today. But until then, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the last 3 days before we end up in the F1 season, and see you around. And by the way, just before we finish up, I'll be posting the clips of the predictions over the coming days of which ones came through the most. So until then, guys.